if there's one thing I like more than Arch-based distributions, or almost more than Arch-based distributions, it is immutable Linux distros. Now, I know that can be quite controversial, but immutable distributions can really be quite powerful. And it's a bit of a conversion between traditional and an appliance type of system, and immutable, essentially you can roll your system back easily, and your root file system is essentially read-only, so you can't install normal software as much and you can't make as many changes. So the one that I'm going to look at today is Origami 43. This is that technology with a Cosmic desktop environment. So I'm just going to let this install and we'll be back once it's installed. Okay, let's log in. Wow, that was actually pretty quick. So as you see here, we have got me installed. And let me see if I can't change the resolution. Settings. Cosmic settings. Displays. 920 by 1080. Yay! Now we have display issues at the bottom. Well, let's just quickly choose a browser. I'm just going to do the Zen browser, because why not? Cloudflare Warp next. They even tell you to set up a Distrobox. English. Yeah. Our time zone again. Not just to LA. Cosmic Dark is fine. Fine. New keyboard shortcuts, fast and efficient. So here we've got this thing installed. And so, out of the box, the applications this thing comes with is the logo menu that you can change. I guess the logo. Oh, and there's a nice little menu here, which is pretty cool. And it takes you to the About settings. And the Cosmic is only Wayland, so it uses Wayland. Files, the traditional files, or Cosmic files, terminal. Do they have screen fetch, fast fetch? There we go. Can they use a Cache OS modified Linux kernel on a Fedora Core 13 software? So these type of distributions, the idea is you don't install normal software, so such as a normal RPM. You can install it on top, but it's generally not recommended. So this type of distribution, you're mainly supposed to use Flatpaks and Distrobox and Homebrew to install stuff. So let's say, for example, I want to install KCalc scientific calculator. I'll just go here. It installs straight away from FlatHub. I'll let that install. And let's say I want to do top. I've got top, HTOP, which is BTOP apparently. That's fine. I think they actually use Helix. Don't they have Helix installed? I always thought they used Helix or something. Which is interesting. This is new. And I guess quit. Cool. So you can see a lot of the apps that they use is, as they state on the website, they've tried to replace it with Rust apps and tried to make a couple of more modern apps. So here's KCalc, and here it's installed, and this is a Flatpak. But let's say you want to install a CLI tool that's not installed. So I'm going to use Emacs as an example here. Emacs is not installed. So if I go to the store and I go Emacs, so a lot of these type of distributions will actually have an additional CLI tool that you can use to make it easier to manage. Okay, let's close this and let's see if that installed. I take it only this Emacs is here installed. Here's Emacs, which I'm not an Emacs user. So we chose a web browser, which is here. Okay, so let's say I want to use Neoman, not installed, or GitHub CLI tool, not installed. How do I install this? Well, we could install, this already has Distrobox installed, and we could do this all through the command line, but let's say we don't quite want to do this through the command line. So I'm going to go to Cosmic Store, and I'm gonna search for DistroShelf. I'm gonna install that. You could also install Box Buddy or Container, but I'm just using DistroShelf because I know it. And essentially what DistroShelf is, it's an easy way to install Distrobox. And if you don't know what Distrobox is, it's basically, it installs a container of a Linux distribution that will interact with your machine natively. So you install apps in your Distrobox OS, so you can make changes, run the apps, do whatever you need to do without having to change or impact your local system. So I'll show you what I mean here. So I've DistroShelf installed, and I'm going to just do create Distrobox. So in this one, I'm going to do Fedora 43, right, base image. I'm not going to give it a custom home directory. Not going to give it an init system. It doesn't need any of that, right? And I'm just going to say create. And you'll see it immediately is going to start pulling from the repo. You can do this from the command line as well. And it even tells you to enter run Distrobox into Fedora. So I'm going to close that. And yeah, I can just click on terminal and it will tell you that it's installing the basic packages. In the meantime, let me just get a browser open. And I'm going to show you the two different ways here. So let's go to NeoVim. So it's already, so NeoVim is part of Fedora anyway. Well, the normal Fedora repo, so we'll be able to use that. So the container setup, right? I could also just close a container, could go back, and I could just go Distrobox into Fedora, and it's going to be the same thing. So if I do a fast fetch, if I do this, I'll do sudo dnf install fast fetch, and my container Fedora. But now, again, we want to use NeoVim. So I'm just going to be lazy. I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it here. And some dependencies it needs to install. So let's install those dependencies. And if we were to delete this container, NeoVim will be gone because we haven't installed it on the core machine. Right. That's the whole idea of an immutable distro. If you're doing stuff, you're not interfering with your actual main installed OS, so that the idea is if something does go haywire, you reboot it, you should be able to bring it back up. And also, it doesn't do updates per individual files. It basically updates entire images. But we'll do another video on immutable distros. Okay, so let's clear that. And if I go, there we've got NeoVim. It's installed, right? But here is the catch. I'm in the Fedora ISO. So if I go in my normal shell, I can now at least, thankfully, access it, which is actually pretty cool. And if I, in this scenario, if I want to access it, I have to go and at least open up my terminal, right? And then I'd have to do NeoVim in here. Cool. So let's say we want to do that. But now, let's say you want a specialized tool and you don't want to use DistroShelf. So you could also do Homebrew. So Homebrew on Linux. So get Homebrew and just install it. Okay, so we've got Homebrew installed. So let's have an install. The GitHub. So I would go brew, install GH, the GitHub CLI, pulls down the bottle, and it even tells you that it's been installed. And if I just do GH now, you'll see it is here. So that is the idea of how you're supposed to actually install software in these things. So let's say you say, hey gosh, I want to install a application that has a GUI. What do? Well, it's not on a Flatpak. I'm not going to RPM OS3 on here, so I'm not going to force the install into the main image. I'm going to do it the recommended way. Well, this again is where something like DistroShelf comes in. So again, I'm going to just go back to the terminal here. So you want your GUI application to be installed, and you're not going to overlay it, but you're going to make use of Distrobox or containers. So let's say, for example, I want to install GNOME Music. You can see here I'm in my virtual Fedora, and I'm just going to install it. And I could have used Ubuntu. It doesn't have to be a Fedora. It could be another distro, because that's the joy of using something like Distrobox. You can essentially have different Linux distributions inside each other without impacting or making changes to your main system. So I just let this install dependencies. So now it should be installed. So I'm going to just use Firefox as an example. I'm going to install Firefox, but I'm not going to install the Flatpak for it. We're not going to RPM OS tree on it, because that's the wrong way. We'll just still use the same Fedora container. So Firefox should be installed. If I go here to applications, nothing much is going to show there. So let's close that up. And you'll see here, you'll go, oh, but where's my Firefox? Well, there's a few ways. So going back to DistroShelf, right? If I go to applications, it doesn't actually show it, which is strange. It should normally. So if I just here go to Firefox, Firefox is now started up. Okay, so we're in the container. So in the container, we're like, yeah, I don't want to always go and have to manually type. So we're just going to go distrobox -export -app, and the name of the app, hit enter, and it will export it. And remember, you need to be in the container when you do that. And what it does is, if I go to applications, you'll see Firefox is there, and it even tells you it's on Fedora. And there you go. How you can install additional software on an immutable distro, and technically you could actually do it on a distro that's not immutable if you wanted to keep your main system untouched, or for testing or development. Rest of the distribution, I must admit, it is actually pretty speedy, fast. In fact, I actually find this faster than Pop! OS for the Cosmic environment, which is quite interesting. Rest of this, yeah, basically just the normal applications. Really not too much else to talk about. And yeah, it's nice to see another distribution in this field. Yeah, my only thing for the developers is if you could have something like UJust that the Bazite distros have, that would make this, I think, a lot easier for folks, because that takes out a lot of the heavy lifting of a couple of things with this type of distro. But, folks, really nice to see another distribution using this tech. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.